What if I told you that a single missile today could wipe out an entire city in seconds? That the power of modern nuclear weapons isn't just about destruction but about absolute annihilation? We often hear about nuclear bombs, but do we truly understand their scale? The bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945 killed around 140,000 people, a horrifying number. But today's nuclear weapons? They're hundreds, sometimes thousands of times more powerful. How big is the explosion? What would happen if one of these weapons was ever used in a real conflict? Today, we're breaking down the terrifying reality of modern nuclear weapons, from the largest warheads ever built to the unimaginable consequences of a nuclear strike. This isn't just history, it's the world we live in right now. Stay tuned, because what you're about to see will change the way you think about war forever. To truly understand the power of modern nuclear weapons, let's start with China's DF-5. This intercontinental ballistic missile is one of the most powerful in China's resource, designed to deliver devastating damage over vast distances. If a DF-5 missile were detonated, the explosion would be catastrophic. Within a 16 kilometers radius, most residential buildings would collapse instantly, crushing anything and anyone inside. The sheer force of the blast wave would flatten infrastructure, shatter windows for miles, and ignite massive fires. But the destruction wouldn't stop there. Even people 35 kilometers away would suffer third-degree burns, injuries so severe that they destroy skin, nerves, and even muscle tissue. The heat from the explosion would be hotter than the surface of the sun, making survival nearly impossible within close range. The estimated death toll could exceed 1 million, with another 1.8 million people suffering severe injuries from burns, collapsing buildings, and radiation exposure. Now, here's the terrifying part. China is believed to have between 20 and 30 DF-5 missiles in its arsenal. That means the destruction we just described could be multiplied dozens of times over. If even a few of these were launched in a real-world conflict, entire cities would be wiped off the map. The scale of devastation would be unlike anything humanity has ever seen. This is just one missile. And yet, there are even more powerful nuclear weapons in the world. Now, let's move on to something even more terrifying. The Russian R-36, better known by its NATO designation, the Satan missile. This intercontinental ballistic missile was originally developed during the Cold War, designed to strike deep into enemy territory with unparalleled destructive power. Despite being decades old, it remains one of the most powerful nuclear missiles ever built. Standing an enormous 32 meters tall and weighing a staggering 210,000 kilograms, nearly 500,000 pounds, the R-36 is a two-stage liquid-fueled rocket capable of reaching targets anywhere in the world. With an operational range of up to 16,000 kilometers, it can launch from Russia and strike targets as far as the United States, Europe, or even Australia. But what truly makes the R-36 a terrifying weapon is its payload capacity. It can carry up to 10 nuclear warheads, each capable of delivering a 1-megaton explosion, meaning a single missile could unleash 666 times the destructive power of the Hiroshima bomb. In some versions, instead of multiple smaller warheads, a single 20-megaton warhead was used, making it 1,300 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. A missile like this isn't just meant to destroy cities. It's designed to erase them from existence. The sheer force of its detonation could level entire metropolitan areas, wipe out millions in an instant, and cause environmental devastation lasting decades. Even though newer nuclear weapons have been developed, the R-36 remains a symbol of Cold War terror, one of the deadliest weapons ever created by humankind. Now, let's take a horrifying scenario. What would happen if an R-36 hit San Francisco? The sheer power of this missile would turn the city into a wasteland within seconds. First, the fireball from the explosion would vaporize everything within a 3 kilometers radius. This means that downtown San Francisco, including landmarks like the Transamerica Pyramid and Salesforce Tower, would be completely erased. Skyscrapers, streets, and bridges, everything in this zone would cease to exist in an instant. Beyond this, the shockwave would spread outward, flattening buildings across a 10.5 miles area. This would devastate much of the Bay Area, turning homes, schools, and hospitals into rubble. The few structures that remained standing would likely catch fire or collapse soon after due to secondary explosions and aftershocks. But the destruction wouldn't stop there. The thermal radiation from the blast would cause third-degree burns to anyone within 40 kilometers. This means people as far as Oakland, Palo Alto, and even parts of San Jose could suffer life-threatening burns just from the intense heat of the explosion. Just when you thought nuclear weapons couldn't get any deadlier, Russia has developed something even more terrifying, the RS-28 Sarmat, better known as the Satan II missile. This weapon is designed to replace the aging R-36 missiles, and it takes nuclear warfare to an entirely new level. The Sarmat is enormous, standing over 35 meters tall and weighing more than 208 tons. To put that into perspective, that's heavier than a fully loaded Boeing 747 jet. But what truly makes this missile horrifying is what it carries. The Sarmat can be equipped with up to 10 heavy nuclear warheads or 15 lighter ones, each capable of causing catastrophic destruction. This means a single Sarmat missile could wipe out multiple cities at once. Even more terrifying is its advanced ability to evade missile defense systems. Traditional ICBMs follow a predictable trajectory, making them vulnerable to interception. But the Sarmat uses a fractional orbital bombardment system, allowing it to enter low Earth orbit before striking its target from any direction, even the South Pole. This bypasses most existing missile defense systems, making it nearly impossible to stop before impact. With a range of over 18,000 kilometers, the Sarmat can strike anywhere on Earth. Russian officials have even claimed that one missile could wipe out an area the size of Texas or France. This weapon is not just another nuclear missile, it is a game-changer in modern warfare, designed to ensure that no missile defense system in the world can stop it. The Satan II is a stark reminder that the threat of nuclear war is more terrifying than ever. Now, the ultimate nightmare, a 50-megaton warhead. Imagine the worst-case scenario, a 50-megaton nuclear warhead, the same yield as the Tsar Bomba, the most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated, exploding over New York City. The devastation would be unlike anything the world has ever seen. The fireball alone would be 5 kilometers wide, instantly vaporizing everything within that radius. Skyscrapers, bridges, vehicles, and people, everything would be reduced to ash in an instant. This would obliterate 83 square kilometers of one of the world's most densely populated areas. But the destruction wouldn't stop there. The blast wave would flatten buildings up to 26 kilometers away, with hurricane-force winds sweeping through the city at speeds exceeding 1,000 kilometers per hour. The total affected area would be over 2,000 square kilometers, larger than the entire city of London. And then there's the heat radiation. People up to 60 kilometers away, as far as New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania, could suffer third-degree burns, which destroy skin and tissue down to the bone. The explosion's impact zone would cover over 11,000 square kilometers, an area nearly the size of the state of Connecticut. The estimated death toll would exceed 7 million, with another 6 million seriously injured. To put this into perspective, when the Tsar Bomba was tested in 1961, its flash was visible over 1,000 kilometers away. If a bomb of that size were detonated over New York City, the explosion would be visible as far as Columbia, South Carolina, nearly the entire East Coast. It would be nothing short of an unimaginable catastrophe. What does this mean for the world today? Despite the terrifying power of these weapons, there's some debate about their actual effectiveness. Recent reports suggest that Russia's Sarmat missile failed a test, exploding during launch and leaving a massive crater at the test site. Combined with military setbacks in Ukraine, some argue that Russia's nuclear capabilities might not be as formidable as they seem. But here's the reality. Russia still has nearly 6,000 nuclear warheads. Even if only a handful were launched in a full-scale nuclear war, the devastation would be beyond comprehension. It's not about who has the biggest bomb, it's about making sure these weapons are never used. Because in a nuclear war, there are no winners. Only destruction. If you found this video thought-provoking, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's think, discover, and grow together. See you in the next one.